What? What's wrong?
This is not my favorite.
Okay, it's not.
It's mid-February, and I'm behind in just about everything. Fortunately, the cavalry arrived.
This is brighter. Can you see? Can you see? Do you want to start on this wall? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move this.
Things might not be moving along fast as we want right now, but this year's been pretty good so far.
I did not do that. That was already there. Which? Oh, yeah. Is it hard? Oh, you know what? Take it the spatula. I'm gonna start doing the ceiling. We also have a closet to do. How late are we staying? Not that late. You look like you're losing steam.
Everyone is excited about the prospect to move into the house, and we're all pitching in as best we can. When it comes to organization, cleaning, packing, or painting, Lauren and Javanna are two peas in a pod. They are on a roll.
So while Lauren and Javanna are finishing up the paint and Apollo is tending the wood stove, I'm working on the grout. Now, I'm using BreakHeartOrchard Color Plus, and I've seen videos by other people talking about disasters they had and good things where people had a hard time with it. I'm gonna go in really, really small batches. One of the things I ran into was not knowing how much I'm supposed to use. So finally what I did was just take the bag and pour it into a quart container, and it's 4-to-1. There's 4 quarts of the powder in the bag, and it says to use 1 to 1.1 quart of liquid with that. So we're going with 4-to-1. I've already poured all the powder into a bucket, mixed it all together to ensure consistency in case there was any settling after anything was put in there. I mixed that all together real well. I've got 1 quart of dry powder standing by and 8 ounces of liquid. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix my water, and apparently if you put a lot of air into it, it sets up really fast. I'm not trying to have an experience where it sets up super fast and I have a problem. And this is also a very small container I'm gonna be putting it into. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it with just a stick and hand mix it. All right. Ah, good catch. All right. Oh, let me start my timer. As I said, 15 minutes. This is one of the joys of this product, is it says I'm supposed to have it up there for 15 to 30 minutes before I try to wipe it, but everybody says that in 15 minutes it's going to start curing. So what I'm going to do is try to get it up here as fast as possible. Hey baby, can I get you to start giving me a hand with this? Because from what everyone's saying, I'm going to need to work quick.
Okay, what do you need me to do?
Stand by with things to wipe it. After you take that bucket,
Okay, yeah.
probably ought to get up here in a minute.
Yeah. Is it the right consistency?
You tell me.
I don't know. Do you have your water on standby?
I got 2 buckets of water, 2 sponges, and a bunch of microfiber towels.
I was trying to get a better picture of the wall as I put the grout on it, and I chose the narrow focus with a self-leveling horizon. And apparently, we're having a few problems. When it's time to wipe it off, after it's had about 15 to 20 minutes to set, everybody says to use a damp sponge and wipe once or twice, then soak it, and do it again.
Let's see what we can do here. Start from the bottom and go up. There we go.
You're doing it better.
Yeah.
Yes.
What people don't mention is that wet sponge helps to smooth things out and helps you adjust the amount of grout that you have in those seams, because no matter how good of a job you do at putting it on, you're still going to have to take some of it off.
Did you get my one little spot?
I have no idea, baby. You asked me crazy questions in the middle of this. You ready?
Yep.
It slides off there, you gotta be quick.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
You want to keep squeezing to push it in as deep as you can.
Okay.
Fill those voids.
I think you got a thinner mix.
I made it thinner this time because it was harder to work with when it was thick.
Okay.
There are a lot of things like this with the build. You start off not knowing what you're doing, and it doesn't take too long before you get a little bit of a technique. Overall, even though I didn't want to do it, I gotta say, I really like it.
Got about half the shower done today. Only worked on it for about 3-4 hours total. Pleased. Very pleased.
It's time to collect the troops and go home. It's cold and it's wet outside. You can hear the rain on the roof. And it's not hard to see that it's nice and warm inside. Weather is a factor in everything that we do. We live about 1/3 of the way up the mountain. So when it rains or snows, all that water comes out of the sky and it's going to make its way down to us. And we have to deal with it. That's not exactly a complaint. It's just a fact of life. We are stewards of the land, whether we like it or not.
Ooh, that water is chilling.
When I was a teenager, I didn't have an appreciation of yard work.
Boy, that hand's getting cold.
We lived in a rural neighborhood, and I was often tasked with mowing and raking, and I hate to admit it, but I was not very good at it. Now, when I do something like this for the land, I might be inconvenient and it might be uncomfortable, but I always feel an immense sense of satisfaction. Most of the time, nobody knows about it but me. I guess that means I'm proud of myself, all by myself. By the way, we built this bridge. My wife and me and 3 of our kids. And I'm pretty darn proud of that too. Every time I have the opportunity to stop and check it out, I'm always amazed at what we did.
Well, spring is coming, and that means ferocious growth and lots of work. And I'm not done building the house yet. So I've got to get up here right now and put the pebble mosaic in on the bottom of the shower so that we have a place to clean ourselves after those hard days of work we're going to have ahead of us. Preparation. Preparation is always the key, and it's always the heavy part. It seems like nothing, but without it, you don't have a good job. I have been laying out the tiles, trying to make sure that I've got everything set up so that when I come in here with the mortar and I'm ready to go and I can get it. What I just cut was a handful of these little odd pieces that I peeled off so that I can put them into the edges. It gives you a little bit of cheater room because you can take the cut edge and stick it over on the side and it'll fit in there and you can put it in and fill these spots in. So after I get this laid out, I'm going to come back around these edges and I'm going to get these put in. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to kind of go through and find some spots where they fit, and then I'm going to take them off of that and just set them over here on the floor. So after I put it back in here, I can have a ready supply of pieces that should fit in there. I have a pretty good idea how I want to do this. I've stacked the tile. I'm about to find out if I'm right or if I'm wrong. So, let's see if we can get this out. I'm gonna break the other tile. That's not gonna be good. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. This is zigzag.
Yeah, I don't know this area.
You take this bucket out. I don't need it anymore. much off the floor as possible, but I don't think that's actually going to happen. Oh, that is a mess. No, no, no. We don't want that. That is just a load of too much stuff here. Get that off of here. Beautiful and level, and just slightly pitched toward the inside so it has water running off inward, and that is correct. It is very nice. And the reason that I'm not putting a spacer on the top is because I'm standing here above it, and basically I'm eyeballing it to make sure it matches up with the edges of the ones below, so that when I go to put the grout in there, it's a nice clean grout line that matches up and looks good. Well, it's a crazy mess in here right now, but it's not gonna be a mess forever. I'm gonna go ahead and get the grout done on the pebble and on that threshold tomorrow. I'm gonna get that tile from the green coming down to the pebble. And then one day this week or this coming weekend, I'll be in here to put that shower door in. What I'm gonna do right now, since I wanna kill some time to give this time to set up a little bit and get hard before I start cleaning it up, I'm gonna go do some electric. Just to let it firm up in the joints about 15 to 20 minutes before you wipe it. It's been about 10-15 minutes. My thing is not knowing how much I should have put down. When I do the next one, since this did about a little bit more than a quarter, not quite a third, I'll make sure that I mix up about 4 times as much as this, and since it's on the ground, it seems to go a lot faster than doing it on the walls. And I'll just do it all at once and then come back and do that afterwards, do the wiping afterwards. But you live and learn. Start dry a little bit over there, so maybe that's what I need to be looking at, like seeing about getting some of that off. I just don't want to do too much too soon. But I know if you don't get it up in time, then you have a problem. This bucket I'm using is too small, so I'm gonna chop this stuff together like I'm doing cement on the road. Just keep mixing it back into itself. Did I pull a rock up? What just happened? Just start here. Start getting it off. Another step completed, but we're still not done. Once this dries and cures, I gotta come back in here, wet it down, and get some of that glue off of it. When we were putting down the tiles, it's on a fabric, and some of those tiles popped off the fabric. And after we had it set in there, we put some of the pieces back in. Unfortunately, we didn't see that some of them were flipped over. When they're dry, you can't see the pattern, but when it gets wet, you see the glue pattern that's on there because it's kind of sunk into the stone. So I'm gonna have to get down there and sand it a little bit or do something to it to get it off of there, but I'll figure it out. It's just not what I was hoping for.